This next video that I wanted to do should be pretty popular. It's about concealed carry, and I can tell you without a doubt concealed carry is the most popular topic in the gun world right now because it's how a lot of people get started with guns. These days not as many people I should say, hunt as they used to back in the past, maybe the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Sometimes often the media makes guns kind of taboo, so not as many people are into it. More people live in the city, less people live on the farm, kind of thing. I can tell you from selling guns in a gun store for years and in gun shows with my gun store, countless times people walk in the show or they walk up to the counter at the store and they honestly say, "We're here to buy a concealed carry gun, which one's the best?" And then they kind of look at you with these huge eyes like they're some kid in Whoville on Christmas morning. "Please, Santa, please tell me the answer." I have to be honest with you guys, there is no clear-cut answer. You have to ask some more questions. Okay, what are you going to do with the gun? Well, I want to keep it in a purse. Maybe you want to keep it in your front pocket. Maybe you're a waist carry guy, inside the pant, outside the pant, shoulder holster system, on and on and on. Maybe it's going on your LBE, so it's not really concealed, but it is a small gun. The next is, what type of clothing do you wear? You may wear a suit and tie to work. You may wear jeans and work construction, some kind of pants, maybe dresses if you're a female. You have to consider these things. I live in Texas. It's hot. Rarely, only 2 or 3 months out of the year, do we get to wear coats. And in those cases, when you're wearing a coat, you can wear any gun you want because you can wear a big gun like the FNX here, like a full-size 1911. And we're not going with the weight here, but I'm just saying the size of the gun, you can nearly conceal anything with a proper jacket. But again, using Texas or most of the South as an example, if it's shorts weather, are you going to get away with a full-size gun? Maybe if you're huge, but in reality you're going to go with a micro gun, something like the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, the Ruger LCP, something like that, because it can go in your pants, right in your cargo shorts, wear it in a fanny pack kind of thing. The smaller the gun, the easier it is to conceal. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the classes of handguns and realize that there are different groups of handgun sizes and weights and capabilities. The guns shown here in the video are very popular, but believe me, there are 100 that fit this mold with different price tags, different capabilities, different finishes, weights, what have you. The general goal here is to understand that there are classifications of guns, and then you can research the ones in those to see which one works for you. I start with the babies. The babies, as I mentioned, would be something like the Bodyguard. This Smith & Wesson is really popular right now, actually pretty hard to get all the time, and it's got a laser integrated. A lot of people like this. My personal opinion, although this is my gun, is that the laser may be a little bit of overkill, because if you're shooting that far away, is it really a self-defense situation? I don't know. Up to you. I'm not here to tell you how to use your gun. I'm just telling you what gun categories kind of exist and let you do the rest of the research. Bodyguard is cool because it's only about, excuse me for hitting the camera, it's only 11.85 ounces versus 9 ounces on the LCP. Kel-Tec 380 P3AT also fits in that category. It looks just like the LCP nearly, and it's only 7-point-something ounces, so it's the most ultralight of them all. The Bodyguard is pretty cool because it has a standard takedown where the Kel-Tec and LCP are a little goofy. It also has a slide hold open, which the others don't have, and it has a safety. Again, safety, super controversial. You either hate them or love them. I don't use it because I figure if I'm going to pull it out quick, will I remember to disengage it? The other guns I use, like M&Ps and what have you, don't have a safety, so I don't train myself to use this little guy. But also, if you look down the gun, has some pretty good sights. Most of the baby guns don't. And it has a finger extension so that when you hold it, I, as a normal or above average size guy, can get my fingers on it, except for my pinky. It makes it pretty controllable. 11.85 ounces, the more weight, the less kick. Remember that. The tinier the gun, the harder it is to shoot normally because there's less mass, so when the bullet does go off, when the case goes off, it gives you more kick. Or it jumps more, or there's less to hold on to, and on and on. This gun is 6+1, which is pretty much a standard in the industry on these baby guns. Here's the Ruger LCP Coyote Edition. also 6+1. These are in 380 ACP. I kind of go with 380 as the beginning caliber. Don't get me wrong though, there are plenty of 32s, 25s, and 22s that have killed people. Period. Beretta makes some cool little 25s and 22s. Taurus makes some. I don't have any, but they did sell real well when I had my store, and they are very popular because they're normally pretty good price. I mean, a lot of times you're seeing these guns used for $100, $150, $200 on the little 32s and 25s. These guns, for example, this one's kind of hovering around the $299 mark, the Kel-Tec at the $250 mark, and then because I guess the laser, the Bodyguard, and it's a Smith & Wesson, normally about $350 all the way up to $399 because guns are kind of scarce, but generally $350-ish. So it does cost a little bit of money to get a gun, but it's not the end of the world. You can do it. Up from there, I guess you're going to go micro compact, and up from there you'll go ultra compact or compact. I think ultra compact, and that would be something like this. The famous Kel-Tec PF9. This one happens to be an OD green with a black slide. Kel-Tec makes a billion combinations, tan, green, blacks, navy, blue, stainless. You name it, they have probably a color you're looking for. This has an integrated Kel-Tec pocket clip on there. I like it and I don't like it. I've had this gun for probably 5 years. The pocket clip's good. You can let this ride down in your pocket with no holster and then quickly grab it and pull it out. You see the laser, we'll talk about that. The problem with this clip, just on not a lot of knives you might carry, is it's not deep enough. It should go here, in my opinion. If it goes all the way back here, then it carries deeper in your pocket. Nobody can see this edge of the gun sticking out with the sight, which is obviously something you can't do. In a concealed carry world, you can't brandish. Your goal is to conceal the gun. It's probably against the law in your state to carry a gun and brandish. That's part of the concealability clauses. Anyway, cool gun. It's in 9mm. This steps the game up quite a bit. 9mm is considerably more powerful than the 380s that we talked about a second ago. At 12.7 ounces, this is one of the lightest, probably, or if not the lightest, 9 that I know of. It has a 7+1 gun instead of a 6+1 in 380. The little finger extension is on the magazine, which I forgot to bring in the filming room. This also has a Crimson Trace laser. Okay, I brought this out just to show you. I've always had it on this gun. As you see, when you hold the gun, it points the laser automatically. There's the trigger. Okay. So if you're squeezing, it's on. If you don't, it's off. If you're squeezing, it's on, kind of thing. This is neat. Again, the Bodyguard has a laser. These close distance guns, pull it out, put the laser on it. Some say that could deter the criminal. I don't know. I don't really want to point a gun at somebody that I'm not about to shoot, but I guess it does happen. Anyway, Kel-Tec PF9. It's really light, so it's quite a handful to shoot in 9mm, but it is super, super popular. Another one about the same size would be the Walther PPK, and this is the Walther PPKS. You've probably seen a ton of movies with this gun. This was, of course, James Bond's gun for years, which makes it super cool. I like it. It's back to 380 though, and it's 22 point whatever ounces. I think 22.7. So what you've got is a gun about that size, which is concealable, but man, you got some weight with it. It's back down to 380, which will do the job, but I wish it was in 9. Man, I wish this gun was in 9. You'd think that after 50 years they build this gun in 9mm, but they don't. I had to have it because it was Bond's gun. I'm a nerd like that. I do like the gun. It also has an external hammer and a safety, which a lot of people like, so you can cock it, shoot it single action, which you wouldn't necessarily do in a self-defense situation, but it is better at the range. It's got some weight to it at 22.7 ounces. I guess the only benefit is that it has a lot less recoil than this gun. So, you know, you do have to carry the weight, but once you shoot, it is a lot nicer. So there are pros and cons to both categories. Next category is probably going to be your best bet for concealed carry, though the biggest. That's going to be your compacts. You saw this in the M&P review if you watched that video. If not, go check it out. This is the M&P Compact in 40 caliber. They also make it in 9 and they make it in 45. We're not talking caliber specifically in this video because we have 380s, 9s, 40s, and 45s on the table, but I want you to be aware that whatever caliber you choose, a lot of these guns are available in those different calibers. With the exception, like I said, the Kel-Tec PF9 is a 9. There is one in the catalog in 40, but it's never shipped that I know of. Walther PPK is always a 380, but they do make one in 32 if you want a little less for whatever reason. This gun is cool. It's like a full-size M&P. You can hold it. It has real sights, as you can see in the camera. So you can aim it. Although again, do you need to aim at 5 or 7 feet? No, 7 yards maybe. It's more of a point and shoot situation, but this gun is full power, 40 caliber. It works like your M&P if you're used to carrying a full-size one like I do on duty as a police officer. It has interchangeable back straps so that you can get the right fit for you or your wife or whoever's shooting it. Big person, little person, or in between. It comes with 3. And at 21.7 ounces, it's an excellent option. If you remember what I just said, 22.7 on the Walther. Now you're at 21.7 in a 40. And it's comfortable to shoot. This is a polymer gun. That's a metal gun. An aluminum gun, stainless gun. So the 40 is a good bet. The M&P Compact's a good bet. Baby Glock, also an excellent gun. And you save 2 ounces. Baby Glock comes in at 19.75 ounces in a 9mm, 1 more ounce in a 40. They also make a baby 40 and a baby 10, though they are fatter in the Glock family. Springfield XD has the subcompact and a 3-inch barrel. This happens to be a 3.5-inch barrel. Those are all good guns. I don't have the Springfield Compact, although I've sold 1,000 of them. I don't have the baby Glock, and of course I've sold thousands of them in the past. All good guns. Glock's easily the best-selling brand in America, but I just don't have one on the table. So there it is. There's your major families, with the exception of one more, and that's going to be the revolver. A lot of people don't even know how to use revolvers or anything about one anymore because they are less popular than they used to be. 1985-ish, Glock invented the polymer gun. Everybody started switching from revolvers. Semi-autos were already coming on the scene with the metal Smiths, the Model 39s and 59s. So, last 20 or 30 years, revolvers aren't super common, but they are a great self-defense option. This happens to be a Smith & Wesson Model 60 3-inch barrel, which isn't as common, but I like it. I've had this gun for several years, probably 6 or 7 years, because I'm also a hunter. It was also a great trail gun, although it was stainless, which always kind of bothered me a little bit. But it does shoot really good. It's 357, which means it can also shoot 38s. It doesn't weigh much at all. This gun's only a 5-shot little J-frame Smith & Wesson. This one happens to be 24.5 ounces in the 3-inch barrel. And remember that they make, for example, and it's not on the table, but the M&P40. That's a snub nose, little air weight, with some scandium in it, and that gun's only 13 ounces, pardon me. But at 13 ounces and 357, I will tell you better hang on for dear life because it's going to be a ride. Maybe a 38 plus P would be a better bet in that gun for the average shooter because it is going to be pretty recoil heavy. Not 44 Magnum heavy, not crazy heavy, but it's going to be there. Maybe enough to startle you or keep you off target enough to not get a good second shot off or a good third shot, what have you, if you had to. Above that, again, remember that there's a lot of other examples. I'm trying to cover some major categories so that you'll understand. But a lot of guys are 1911 fans. You saw this gun also a little bit in the M&P review. This is the Kimber Tactical Pro. It's a 45. It's a 1911. You like my wear mark there from using it as a detective? So, why would you carry this? Well, it's a 45. Now you get a lot of stopping power. As a matter of fact, it's an 8-round gun, full-size grip. I like this gun, but a little heavy at 28 ounces for concealed carry. I wore it every day as a detective for about 6 or 8 months, but it was in an open carry situation, so I wasn't trying to conceal it. It was on my belt, in my holster, with a badge next to it. So a little easier, a little different situation. If you're in that situation, hey, 1911 all day. I'm all for it. If you're bad enough and you think you can try it, go with something big, right? What's the real goal here? You want a defensive gun that's going to stop an attacker, okay? How about a full-size 45? This is the FNX 45, holds 15 rounds. Bad to the bone. It happens to have a tack light on it right now. But man, look at this thing. This is a chunk of plastic and metal. You're never going to conceal it. I guess if you do, you're awesome, but I couldn't do it. I do love the gun though. Slide stop. It's got a decocker and a safety, which is ambi. Pretty cool. I like that. But a big gun. Same thing. Full size 1911. Super thin, just like the Commander size or the Pro size, but long. 5-inch barrel. Right. Got some weight to it. This gun is Remington 1911 XTR, which is kind of a limited edition OD green with a black frame, and it's had some Wesson Combat upgrades, but nevertheless, even in an aluminum frame, I think it's coming in at something like 36 ounces. That's huge. And if you go with a metal frame, a steel frame 1911, a lot of them are getting 40 and 44 ounces, 45 ounces out of them. So with that, if nothing else, it's pulling your dang pants down if it's on your belt, because you got 4 pounds, 3 pounds of gun on your pants. You have to realize that there are compromises. You're trying to conceal a gun. You're not trying to get the best tactical shooting gun ever made. You're trying to get one that you can defend yourself with, but not scare the public by showing them. So, I hope that gives you a good idea of some of the guns that are out there. I heard a couple of guys message me after the M&P review, and they're like, oh, you don't like Glock, and you don't like this. And okay, hello, I do like Glock. I do like other guns. I do like M&Ps. Just because it's not out here doesn't mean that I don't like it. It may be that I don't own it, or maybe that I don't have it handy. Okay, I have a baby Glock. It wasn't here for me to show you. Kahr is also another brand, K-A-H-R. I don't have it on the table because I've never owned one. I've sold a lot of them. They are somewhat popular, not really, but they're real expensive. You're getting Kahrs in $500, $600, $700 range when you're getting these M&Ps, $499, stuff like that. Glocks, $499, maybe $550. You know, you're getting guns $200 less for a whole lot more guns. So Kahr, also another brand. There's plenty of brands. It doesn't matter what you like. If you carry a full-size $3,000 Wesson Combat every day, so be it. But I'll tell you, as a police officer and a former gun store owner, you buy this big gun, you think it's awesome, you spend all this money on it, and guarantee you, if you're still carrying it a month, you're a hero. Most guys don't. These guns that are too heavy, too clunky, too sharp-edged, not enough this, not enough that, too much of this, too much of that, you don't carry them. All of a sudden it'll be where, oh well, man, I'm just tired of dealing with that dang thing. You know, it's always in the way of my such and such, or every time I get in the car, it's rubbing me, you know, and I can't, so you don't carry it. That's just how it is. You don't do anything that you don't like if you have the choice. And then this is a choice. Concealed carry is a choice. You don't have to. I can't imagine not, but some don't. A lot don't. A couple of options for you in the holster world would be maybe outside the belt holster. This is a Blackhawk Serpa, super popular. You just push the button once the gun's in there and it comes right out. It's super quick, it's super easy. These are fun. As a matter of fact, this might be for this gun. Yep. So the gun's in there and it's got retention. It's on your belt, it doesn't come out. You just push the button and it comes right out. Serpas are super popular also because they're generally $30 to $39. So a real affordable option, and because it's Kydex, you're not going to really scuff it up super bad like you would leather, and it's not affected by water. Another option might be a leather holster. I like leather holsters. I like belt holsters. This holster can keep your gun on your side or move it around a little bit behind your hip, and it's kind of small at the back, or a kidney style holster, and it holds your gun. This is also the M&P. So, rides very nice, but guess what it doesn't have like the Serpa does? It has no retention. There is a tension, you know, to the holster itself, but basically when the gun's in there, it's in there. It's always at an angle. You see your belt loops. Okay. So it's always angled forward, which lets gravity do its thing, but if you're really jumping and rolling and in and out of cars and all that stuff, I never had a problem with this holster. I wore this for quite a while, but I guess you could. Last but not least is a pocket holster. These are super popular for the with the flypaper material for the baby guns, the micro guns. This one happens to be Bodyguard. Okay, you have this in your left pocket or your right pocket, and I just did that backwards. Left pocket or right pocket there. And then the guns like this, when you want to draw, you just reach in. Because of the flypaper, it sticks on your pocket, but the gun can slip out. Okay. I'm losing battery, I gotta hustle. This also fixes the LCP, the 380 Kel-Tec, and a bunch of others. These pocket holsters are awesome. So again, hope this worked, hope this helps. If you want to see another one on maybe calibers, 380 versus 9 versus 40 versus 45 on the carry calibers, let me know. I'm going to go on and keep making the videos. If you like them, please subscribe and check out the Facebook page at Scout Tactical. Thanks.